YAHAYAH is king. As knowledge spreads to and fro throughout the world, so much information, so much research, so much study is available. As all of this increase, remember, YAHAYAH is king. America is the promised land. It's comprised of Canaan, Jerusalem, Egypt, Babylon, and all the ancient ruins. This is the old world. And believe that was let's say 1896, William Crowdy started teaching that we were the true Israelites. Then he said we were the original Jew. Then Theodore Herz had a secret meeting, and they formulated a plan to move this land of Canaan, the true promised land, to the Mid-East and create one for themselves before the so-called Negro, who is the true Hebrew Yisraelites, aka Hebrew Israelites, awaken to know who they are and that they are standing on their holy ruins. More than likely we were not in our holy land, but it just felt good to say set apart, which only holy means that, right? So we were standing in set apart ruins, belonging to ancient dominions like, Egypt, Babylon, not in Jerusalem yet because we were thrust out of our land. So in 1948, they created Israel over there, right? Because the prophecy is coming to play. The Negro will wake up and seek out its Allah, meaning power, which is YAHAYAH, in the house of David, Dawada, in the house of Tzach, or Zadok, the high priest line of Leoyah, or Levite. They will wake up, for they will spring up in the lands of their captivity during the dominion of the Amalekite Edomite. So they formulated that 1948 thing, planned it, The Moors, they are the Egyptians. They talk that Bay stuff, and when they talk about America, and they mention Indians, they normally always only speak about how America is Egypt, Kemet, right? Kemet is the modern term for over there, right? But Mizraim, the ancient term for the lands that's belonging in the lands of America, right? But these Moors, or nowadays those who use Bay, or a lot of them saying Indian, they resonate with America being Egypt. They are not us. The Negro and the Moors, the so-called Negro, the true Hebrew Israelite, and the Moor, the true Egyptians, we both were dispersed throughout the lands of the earth, the lands of the nations. Go to these scriptures right here. Ezekiel 30:23 through 26 talks about the Egyptians and why YAHAYAH dispersed the Egyptians throughout the nations. It would tell you. I'm expecting you to do your homework on that. But we know Deuteronomy chapter 28:15 through 67 is talking about the signs, aka the curses, of what happened to the so-called Negro. I'm using Negro and Moor so we can discern between Israelite and Egyptian. See, Amalek, the world hates the Negro, for he is the chosen one of Allah, YAHAYAH, power, powerful one, Almighty YAHAYAH, right? But the Moors, the Egyptians, you know, they have to pretend like they strive against them. They don't mind you spreading the Egyptian rumor or accusation, right? But not the Israelite one. That's for a reason. Now, when you go to number 3, African American are the terms used for Egyptians since we were scattered together. I touched on that, right? The New Testament is garbage and idolatry. It's part of the curse. It's part of the new strange idol. It's part of the wood and stone. It's part of ancient Mizraim. It's part of ancient Canaanite deity El. El's also part of the Moorish traditions as well, for they took upon Egyptology for them, right? And also Canaanite ideology, because it's similar, For El meaning God, and the God of the Canaanites, and Baal meaning son of God, son of El, right? New Testament takes upon them two ideologies right there, Egyptology and Canaanite ideology. So this is why Jesus, Yahshua, whatever you want to call him, Yahusha, is the Son of God, is Baal worship, is garbage and idolatry. It exalts this deity, Jesus, Yahusha, Yeshua, and not worship and exalts YAHAYAH. It has been a thorn and been forced upon us by the nations who have dominion over us. It has not been a barakah unto us, for it's not sent by YAHAYAH. 5. Return to YAHAYAH of hosts only. YAHAYAH is the name given to Masha, Moses, in Exodus chapter 3, verse 14 through 15. Right? And Deuteronomy 6:4 tells you YAHAYAH is our king, our power, and he is one. Return to him only. Now, 6, the son of David is here, but not just the son of David, the son of Zadok also, of the high priest line from Levi. Also all the other tribes, the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom. But specifically these two entities, the seed of David and the seed of Zadok, shall meet, combine, and be the union force to govern once YAHAYAH restores Yasharallah, the so-called Negro, to his ruins, sets up his kingdom, bring down the dominion of the Amalekite Edomites, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Bilderbergers, the Shivs, those who have dominion, the Illuminati boys, all of them, right? We see what YAHAYAH is doing in the world today. We see time is speeding up. Go to Isaiah chapter 60. YAHAYAH said he was speeded up during the time of his servant. And that servant is the house of David, the house of Zadok, and all of Yasharallah. So during the time of our captivity and Jacob's trouble, Jeremiah chapter 30, things will speed up. Read Jeremiah chapter 30 in full and see the trials and tribulations and the triumph that comes from that particular passage, chapter, and prophetic word in Jeremiah chapter 30, right? Now, when you go down to the Old Testament, was written to bring remembrance of YAHAYAH back to you. Before we went up under the curse, we were stripped of our power, YAHAYAH, given a religion and ideology, doctrine, given different names, spread through our different lands, turned our countries into states, told us that our country was over there in the Mid-East. We were stripped of so much, and we already know what our people have suffered, right? But if you go to Malachi chapter 3, verse 16 through 18, YAHAYAH says to the people who were speaking at that time, most likely the elders, they were concerned about their descendants or what's going to befall them. And they were worried, like, how would they know what happened to them and what's going on with them in the future? So YAHAYAH heard them speaking to one another, for it was righteous speaking. And then a book of remembrance was written up. Only the Old Testament will bring back the remembrance of who you are, what happened to you, why it happened to you, and what's taking place. So it's past, present, and future. Only the book of remembrance. The book of Revelations or the book of revealing is only a plague book from Daniel. For Daniel chapter 2 is the prophecy of what's taking place right now. Daniel chapter 2, the dream of Nebuchadnezzar, that statue. For YAHAYAH dealt with all them four kingdoms, and we are living in the feet and toes right now. And these feet and toes is the dominion of the Amalekite Edomite and the alliances that he made with other nations. So we see what YAHAYAH is doing with other nations. We see the bricks. And now we see what YAHAYAH is doing to those who have dominion over us, the Amalekite Edomite. We see the Amalekite Edomites' evilness that they portray, how they treat our people, what they do to the chosen ones, how they show no favor to the young, to the old, to the male, to the female. They don't care about our existence. We see who Esau is. And I ain't talking to all Esau, only Amalek. YAHAYAH has a problem with Amalek, not all the Edomites. When it says YAHAYAH loved Jacob or Yeshurun, but hated Esau, he's not talking about all Esau. He's talking about the Amalekite Edomites. Numbers chapter 24, verse 20. And we see what Amalek has did with Agag, Haman, what they did when we was coming out of Egypt in the time with Masha Moses, how they came up against us. YAHAYAH was mad about that. And that was the line of Amalek, the grandson to the original Esau. YAHAYAH hates Amalek, so the prophecy for Amalek is he will wipe out their whole bloodline. The males only. The females and the young will be spared, but the males gone. All the Esau is now wicked, only Amalek. And we see what Amalek does. Amalek runs the industries. Amalek runs the entertainment fields. Amalek runs everything. Amalek changes and turns everything wicked and against the chosen people of God. Yeah. Message to the nation of Yasharallah and the world.